Hello, my name is Dr. Dawn Michelle Porter, and I am a graduate of Stanford University, class of '87, and Meharry Medical College, class of '91. I am a native of Kansas City, Kansas, and am a board-certified child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist. I have been practicing medicine for over 20 years and am the president and CEO of Family Renewed, LLC. I provide child and adolescent psychiatric services as well as facilitate interactive programs which are designed to improve the mental and physical health and wellness of the entire family. Today, I would like to speak with you about the importance of maintaining your mental and physical wellness and give you things to think about and strategies to consider as you continue to navigate this journey called life. Daily, we are bombarded with situations that threaten our overall well-being, and being prepared for those moments can help us live our best life. Before I begin, I would first like to point out that most of my facts and figures came from the NAMI website, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization and has been around for 40 years. As you may well know, mental illness is stigmatized and often misunderstood in the African American community, and rather than seek out professional mental health providers, we often look to our families, friends, or churches for support. Understand that our families, friends, and churches can provide a certain level of support, but we must be open to seeking help from mental health professionals when necessary. Did you know that 1 in 4 adults suffer from serious mental illness like schizophrenia, major depression, or bipolar disorder? So if it's not you, it's someone you know. 6.1 million adults have bipolar disorder. Between 17 and 20 million suffer from depression, and more than 40 million live with an anxiety disorder. Oh, and for those of you who need a nightcap to sleep or something to get you going in the morning or through the day, more than 9 million adults have co-occurring mental health and addiction disorders. And what about our children? 20% of youth ages 13 to 18 live with a mental health condition. 11% have a mood disorder, 10% have a conduct or behavioral disorder, and 8% have an anxiety disorder. And if that isn't enough to get your attention, suicide is the second leading cause of death among youth ages 10 to 24. The second leading cause of death. And recently, we're seeing a rise in the suicide rates of our African American children. Now, for those of you who believe you don't have time to think about your mental health, individuals living with a serious mental illness have an increased risk of having a chronic medical condition and die on average 25 years earlier than other Americans, largely due to treatable medical conditions. That's 25 years earlier. Wow, think about it. And oh, by the way, mood disorders like depression are the third most common cause of hospitalization in the United States for both youth and adults ages 18 to 44. And if that didn't get your attention, how about this for your money people? Serious mental illnesses cost America $193.2 billion in lost earnings per year. That's $193.2 billion. Now, I know these numbers can sound astonishing or even worrisome, and they should, but some things are treatable. For example, depression, a highly treatable condition, second only to heart disease, is the top reason for suicide in the country, but once identified can almost always be successfully treated. The key phrase is, once identified. Unfortunately, we don't always know the signs or symptoms to look for. So I'm going to spend a few minutes on some of the signs that you may not realize can be an indication of a mental health issue and discuss some strategies that you can use. I will briefly mention the 6 tenets of a program that I developed called the ABCs of Family Resiliency that can also help you as you begin your journey. Finally, I will give you some resources that can help and be helpful as you start your journey. First and foremost, if something is going on that has impaired your ability to function in your everyday routine, you should at least seek help to get more direction on next steps. Some things to look for include changes in sleep, appetite, energy level, focus or concentration, or mood, which can all be signs that indicate a mental health disorder. Bizarre behavior, impaired judgment, or thoughts or feelings as if you're out of touch with reality may also be an indication, as well as memory changes. Any of these things could be related to anxiety, stress, or depression, or other concerning mental or physical health condition. As I mentioned previously, people in our community don't often want to seek professional mental health help and disregard symptoms that end up manifesting physically, often resulting in misdiagnosis. So we've got to be careful. Misdiagnosis. Somatization, the manifestation of physical symptoms related to mental health, occurs at a rate of 15% among African Americans and only 9% among Caucasians. That's 15%. So for you high-achieving, go-getter, nonstop Type A Stanford grads, when your body starts talking to you, listen. You need to slow down. Take a deep breath and smell the roses, or coffee for you heavy hitters. A short vacation or staycation, if you can't get away, is in order. And please, please, please put down that phone and other electronics, just like you tell your kids, and unplug. Even if it's just for a few hours during the day. You can start with car rides. Spend quality time with your friends and family. Time flies, and before you know it, they're gone. Take it from me, there's a higher order overseeing our lives. And if you're like me and keep losing your keys or phone or constantly misplacing things, it is happening for a reason. Slow down and listen to those little whispers. It is the world trying to tell you something. Now, I'd just like to mention a few strategies to consider. Sleep. Are you getting enough? Remember, your body needs to rest. It needs rest to rejuvenate and heal from the daily grind you are putting it through. Not only the physical grind, but the mental and spiritual hits that your body takes every day. If you're having a hard time falling asleep or waking up during the middle of the night, consider shutting down the electronics earlier, cutting down on caffeine, and not using your bed as a desk or office. As for the waking in the middle of the night, consider keeping a journal at your bedside to write down those distracting things that wake you up. It will give your brain a break, and you can get to those nagging thoughts later. Are you eating healthy or just grabbing water or whatever you can on the go? Consider taking a good look at your diet, and if you need to, maybe keep a journal of what you eat for a week and reflect on what changes you can make to give your body what it needs. The mind, the body, and the spirit work together, and if one is not taking care of those, the others often suffer. So make sure you're eating right, and exercising can also have a positive impact on your mental health. You might even need to take a vitamin here or there. From a mental spiritual perspective, try and surround yourself with positive people, and seeking therapy can be a very effective tool or strategy to just vent. Having an unbiased, objective person to run things by can give you a perspective that family and friends often can't. Furthermore, they can make referrals or recommendations as needed. Hopefully, if you have developed a positive therapeutic relationship with your counselor, they will be able to direct you in the best next steps, and you will trust them to take the step with you, which, yes, may include seeing a psychiatrist for consideration of medication. That is something always to consider. Remember, 1 in 4 adults suffer from a major mental health condition, which not only affects the individuals, but those people around them: spouse, parents, children, siblings, friends, co-workers, and even acquaintances or strangers you encounter every day. Again, for you Type A personality people who help everyone else, if you don't take care of yourself, how can you help those around you? Remember, the ultimate goal is to keep you and those around you safe and emotionally and physically healthy. Some additional tips include having a list of 3 things you do to relax that you can use when you are feeling overwhelmed. For some, it may be listening to music, watching a movie, or your favorite TV show, exercising or reading a good book. Taking deep breaths, going for a walk, or sometimes getting a glass of your favorite juice can also be effective. Notice I said juice, not a glass of wine or other form of alcohol, because that choice can lead to other challenges. As we know, alcohol and drugs are often used to self-medicate. Whatever it is, have your list readily accessible in your pocket or on your phone as a ready resource in the moment. I also recommend you keep a list of 3 people who you feel you can talk to when you need a friend. 3. However, when making your list, Consider the fact that for different issues, you may want to consider different people. Again, having this list readily available is key. So in the moment, if you can't think of someone, you will have a ready list easily accessible to consider. My last point is a reference to the 6 tenets of the ABCs of Family Resiliency, a program I designed for individuals and families to use to approach their journey. To be clear, family is a broad definition, and my program can be tailored for churches, companies, teams, and agencies in and of themselves, or with their families as well. In my interactive workshops, we go through these 6 points and talk through strategies to help individuals and families learn to work more effectively, individually and collectively, to strengthen their family unit. Our tagline: renew, restore, and revive. So briefly, those 6 points are: anticipating challenges, preparing for challenges in your life or journey; broadening your faith, broadening your trust in the world around you; building your resources, financial or community resources. Remember, it takes a village. Capitalizing on your strengths, recognizing your strengths, your spiritual gifts and talents. Cultivating your relationships, learning how to build and maintain healthy ones. And committing to you and your family, making you and your family a priority. To summarize, remember, the mind, the body, and the spirit work together for one to have a healthy life. If one part is suffering, it throws off the whole. So be mindful that if you are struggling in one area, it may be related to an issue in another. By participating in these Me Week activities, you are taking the first step to a healthier life. Just don't stop here. Use these strategies. Eat healthy, exercise, and get plenty of rest, and reach out and find someone to talk to who can support you on this journey called life. On the next slide, you will see a few resources that can help you with the next stage of your journey. If you are in crisis, you can call the suicide hotline or text NAMI to the suicide text line. In an emergency, you can always call 911. If you have a health insurance plan with behavioral health benefits, you can call them for available providers or call your local NAMI affiliate for groups and programs, which can also lead you to providers through word of mouth. I have also included my website, and if interested in hosting, sponsoring, or attending a workshop or retreat, you can find out more information there. This is Dr. Dawn Porter, and thank you for listening.
My apple, two.